Welcome to Living Fuel TV. I'm Casey Krejci, bringing you an important health alert. Imagine if there were a lethal disease with minimal things that you could do to greatly minimize your risk, but no one's telling you about it. Well, to me, awareness is knowing the little things to minimize your risk, not finding out you have a problem and figuring out how to deal with it at that point. So today is about minimizing your risk. So to cut through the sea of pink, today we're going to talk about a few things that increase your risk of breast cancer and a few things that reduce your risk of breast cancer, and quite dramatically, I might add. So the things that increase your risk of breast cancer, and obviously I'm speaking to the ladies, are medical radiation is a big one. CT scans, CAT scans, PET scans, mammography even. We talk about thermography and MRI and ultrasound being great alternatives to mammography. And we did a show even recently about mammography and how that does have increased risk, and the expert panel changed the recommendations from every year after 40 to every other year after 50. They did that for a reason. This lifetime load of radiation, and these tests can actually aggravate and agitate cancer cells and make them more aggressive. So watch that show. Don't just send me emails telling me how it saved your life or whatever, because there are instances where that has happened, and this is a big deal. But there are things we need to look at along the way. Synthetic hormones. If you're doing hormone replacement therapy and they're giving you a drug, a synthetic drug, I mean, well, you know, synthetic usually, like it'll say progestin instead of progesterone. The hormone is progesterone or estrogen or testosterone. Those are the hormones, and those are the names of compounded hormones, which are the only ones one should consider. Oral contraceptives increase the risk of breast cancer. Alcohol increases the risk. Junk food, highly processed foods, fast foods, fried foods increase risk of breast cancer. Eating non-organic foods and genetically modified foods increases the risk of breast cancer. Sugar increases the risk of all kinds of cancers. And I always say minimize sweet drinks, because this is a source of maybe 15% of your calories you don't even know about, mostly from sugars. So those are some things that increase risk. Now, you're wise and you want to make good decisions with your life. If you know you're heading for a cliff and you have answers to keep you from heading for that cliff, then one should consider these things. The things I'm about to tell you about have been studied dramatically. These are not drugs. No one has a drug deficiency, and there have been no major breakthroughs in breast cancer since they've been trying to have a war against it. There have been incremental increases in benefits, but the things that we want to do are to keep you from having it in the first place. The number one thing that's been studied over the last several years is, say, fish oil. Fish oil reduces the risk of breast cancer in the studies, sometimes 50 and substantially higher percent of the time. Another extraordinarily powerful nutrient is vitamin D3. At higher doses. It's actually been shown in numerous studies. I've been reading them in the last 24 hours. The studies about how people with breast cancer, particularly more aggressive forms of breast cancer, are the people with the lowest blood levels of vitamin D. So vitamin D3 is a very inexpensive nutrient. It's a great protocol to start with 3,000 to 5,000 IU a day. In 3 months, get tested and see what your levels are. But keep your levels above, say, 70,000 milligrams per deciliter. So we did a show on vitamin D, more than one show on vitamin D. I invite you to come back to Living Fuel TV and watch the archives. Extraordinarily powerful information, not just for breast cancer, but for numerous things. Increase your broad spectrum antioxidants, because oxidation is one of the foundational processes of this disease. So increase your broad spectrum antioxidants in your foods, in your supplements, and resveratrol is one antioxidant and that has recently been studied that has significant benefit in the reduction of breast cancer risk. And then things like spices like turmeric and cayenne and curry, these things are curcumin. These things are tremendous in reducing breast cancer risk. And then obviously, it sounds obvious, but it isn't necessarily, lose weight. Make sure that you're at optimal weight, because weight too much weight is associated with breast cancer risk. Numerous studies, even on the cancer sites themselves, Cancer Association sites themselves. Balance your hormones. By this I mean find an expert. We often recommend Fishman Institute, Robert Fishman, because he is a consultant to doctors, and your doctor can go to him and help you balance your hormones. It's really an important thing there. And then exercise. Everyone agrees that exercise is a way to minimize your risk. So I encourage you to do the research. We're going to put some of the research on livingfuel.com so you can check it out and read the studies on these various things. But if you look at the percentage decrease of risk of each of these things and add them all up, it's like a number well beyond 100%. I know that is mathematically oversimplification, but the point is there are genetic factors, there are radiation factors, there's all kind of factors involved in breast cancer. But if lifestyle is 80+% of the risk, lifestyle and diet, then we ought to take some serious steps, particularly if we know that we're at higher risk. God bless you. I hope this helps, and have a great day.